Hey guys, I'm putting this video together to talk about T-side Inferno. This video is going to focus on Banana, how to get control of it. The purpose of this video is to help individual players work Banana. This is not focused for helping teams, within like a competitive setting get Banana. But if you're an individual, you play like, competitive matchmaking, face ADSCA, you pug a lot, anything like that. That's what this video is just designed for, just to kind of help individual players get Banana control. I'm gonna go over some helpful utility, talk about some of the common things that you're gonna come up against, how to deal with it, at least how I deal with it, things that I've had success with, how to counter some of the things that people are gonna throw at you, and just kind of some helpful tips and tricks, how to really help your teammates too. So there's a couple of different roles that you can play on Banana and being the Banana player. I guess we'll start back near spawn, and we'll talk about supporting your other teammates as they go up Banana. So I do this all the time. I come at a spawn, I wait, and I see where my teammates go. And if I see a teammate fast going up Banana, which is extremely common, especially in pugs on Inferno, I'll plant myself right here. I'll crouch, and I'll just throw a little jump flash right here. If you look at this jump flash, it flies over the wall right here. It's not going to flash your teammates because, as you can see, they're coming up like this. It lands over their shoulder and behind them. But what it does do is blinds anybody up here. So if anyone's swinging here to peek them, it's going to blind them, giving them more space to work with. So it's a really helpful flashbang. It's important to note if they come up here like this, it's going to blind them. But, usually if the player is rushing, that spot's already cleared. So it's just important to know how this works. That's why sometimes if you're clearing close Banana, a better flash for that is to come here in the middle of this door and to just pop up over here, the wall. Because that, again, is going to, if anyone's top Banana, let's say there's an opper here and he's scoped in, the black part of the scope is going to block this and he's not going to see it coming. It'll flash him, giving you that second to get around the corner. And then, of course, the nice thing about this one is that if you're coming up, it's going to land higher, so it's going to give you a little bit more space to clear these closer angles. So that's kind of what you can do as a support player. There's a lot more, but I'm going to stick to the basics here today. Other things that I see when people go up Banana that are kind of common mistakes. The first one I want to talk about is this molly here for sandbags. I see a lot of people kind of aim it above this window and throw, and you'll see when you do this, it'll hit that, even if you do get it around, right? Maybe you got a better one that kind of goes like this. You're still going to leave this gap here, which, a lot of people will play this spot knowing that, you think it's mollied. You'll swing around the corner. I got that mollied. I'm safe. And just come up like this. Or, it forces you to check this because you're unsure about your molly. And then that kind of leaves you open to getting swung. Just to kind of help fix that, when you throw the molly, you want to kind of molly it off this close corner here. And that'll get both spots. It'll actually spread to both corners, and you don't have to worry about that angle at all. That'll free you up to just focus on this side right here. And of course, you'll hear him burning if he is there. Some people might try to just sit there if you're close enough and get you anyways. So, but that being said, another option that I don't see enough of, I'll say especially in pugs, is instead of mollying off sandbags, if you molly off CT spawn instead and you throw a flash through like this, then what happens is this guy here becomes an island and you can trade him off. Because sometimes what happens when you throw this kind of pattern is you molly and then you flash, and then by the time the flash goes off, he's already across jumping, you miss him, he's back into side, he's safe. He might still have all his utility, and you haven't really won anything for this. I mean, you've got Banana control, which is actually huge. But there's 2 on Banana, potentially 3 now rotating. Sort of stifles your ability to it limits the amount of pressure you can put on them. Whereas if you throw the molly just like this, right, and then you flash, you could swing off the flash in the same way as the corner. It flashes this guy if he's looking at you or if he's out here like this, right? You can kind of see this will still blind him. If he's tucked in, it'll obviously blind him even more. So it'll still get him. So he's either blind when you swing into him or he's turned, and you can get him that way. The other thing you could do is you can isolate him, because what a lot of players will do, especially against a fast Banana play, is that they'll just immediately run to here. You know, you've seen a ton of clips of people getting all kinds of kills here. You know, what they don't realize is that play often relies on you know, trading contact with this guy here, right? This guy is stepping out, you know, maybe getting a headshot here. This guy's dealing with the guys that get past him as they come into here. And that's a really powerful crossfire if you play it well. But if you isolate this guy off of this angle with that molly, right, and so that this guy can't support the guy at sandbags, you can actually isolate this guy and get a pretty free kill. You know, if your flashes are good. So sometimes, you know, a lot of players, especially newer players, feel like the goal of the utility is to get them out of the tricky spots, when sometimes it's actually better to isolate them in those spots and then just punish, you know, that play, because you can actually see him here. You know, he's just got flashed. He's going to be tucked deep, you know, and hiding from that flash. So you're going to see him before he sees you. It usually is a free kill. And by the way, this is really important, because if you do isolate this kill, there's going to be one guy on B. And, you know, this kind of brings me to another point that is going to be probably a theme in these videos. If you then get this kill and you chain it into aggression, which is, you know, it's fine in a lot of circumstances, especially in a pug. But what actually sometimes is better to do here is to just take the banana control win and chill. Let your guys work A, have everyone fall back. You've got forward control here. There's no pressure on you to keep going. And what that actually does, it puts a huge amount of pressure on the CTs, because it challenges their ability to rotate. If you just hang out here and go silent, one of the guys A probably will rotate. And if the rest of your teammates are now going back and working A, then all of a sudden you've created a much bigger advantage for your team, because the guys A are, if they might still both be mid, but you've got 3, maybe 4 players going up mid, maybe one in apps putting a lot of pressure on them. So you're splitting up the defense. And the other thing is that you can get info here. So if you're just chilling here like this, you can listen for rotates. If they both rotate, you can, you know, either smoke this off, call for your teammates to come back, and now you've just won B for free without even needing to get that kill. Or, you know, if you want to get a more aggressive approach, you could just walk through, call for your teammates to rotate, and now you just cut off all the rotations. If you want to get a lot of kills in a game, if you do these kind of plays, you're going to get way more kills and you're going to win way more rounds, because you're getting yourself into positions where you're catching multiple out of position. And what happens when you do this kind of stuff over the course of a number of different rounds where you're messing up their rotations, you're going to force the other team, because they're pugs, they don't have time to review and build protocols. Somebody on their team is going to say something like, stop over rotating. And as soon as you have somebody respond that way, where they say stop over rotating, I apologize for the sirens outside. When you have somebody say, you know, stop over rotating, you've essentially frozen their defense, which leaves banana vulnerable to aggression. So if you do that a few times and you're successful at it, what it'll start doing is activating your ability to transition this initial pick into further aggression without having to risk this kind of fast CT rotate. You know, a lot of our arch side guys, because in pugs they don't trust each other a lot, will cheat. He might even still already be here with an op by the time you chain that next kill. They might have even started 3B here. You know, and now you're pushing in thinking you're in a 1v1, you're going to win this duel, and this guy's just still here shooting you in the back. Right now they've got a 180-degree crossfire that you've walked into. Now you're going 1 for 1. You've done this clever play. You've gotten the pick. You go 1 for 1. You die, and then 2 things happen. They've got 2 on B, 2 on A. You guys only have 4 players, and you've basically given up banana control unless you put another guy here to take your spot and just hold banana, which then also weakens your A attack, right? So it's, you know, the risk, the reward here of pushing through and getting this aggression is you get B for free, you smoke it, and you know, you almost guarantee the round, which in pugs is going to be worth it a lot of the time. I'll say, big picture, over a course of, you know, if you looked at 1,000 games, people that chain this early pick into, you know, quick aggression, especially as you climb higher and higher in the game, are going to get punished more and more for that. It's a bad habit. Better players will know how to deal with this aggression. The second guy's not going to get caught out by it. You know, he's going to be ready for it. His teammate's going to be in position. You know, he'll know how to shut down your aggression with like a molly or something like that, giving his teammates time to rotate. And you lose, and you. The point of getting banana early round on Inferno is to get control of banana, because you're denying their information. If they're at top banana, the most powerful thing that they have on you is that they know that you're not B. Right? Teams will sit up here and they'll just kind of like chill here, and then they can play 4A. Right? That's why they throw all of the utility over B and get control of this spot, because then they can stack A. And a lot of players, when they're on the other side of the smoke, and I'll talk about this in a minute, they'll look at this and they'll be like, oh shoot, I don't know how to deal with that, so let's all just go work A. And that's actually a trap, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So the purpose of getting banana control is just to kind of hold it and not let them have that information, right? Because if they're in sight, they're going to chain their smokes, they're going to have to use their util early. They're not going to know if you've got 5 players here setting up for an execute. And if you start getting control of this consistently and you do set up here, then you can set up for an execute really easily. And B, I mean, even at low level pugs, everyone's got a smoke or two that they can throw on B to get control of it. So you're going to start winning a lot more rounds. Your B take's going to be a lot stronger, and it's going to require you to take fewer risks, which is going to help your economic game. It's, you know, you're not going to feel like you're broke all the time. Your score is going to improve as an individual player. And you're starting to play a style of game that creates what I call passive pressure, where these guys are here on CT side. They don't know if you're close or not because you're silent, and it forces them to either fully give up info or to retake. And that's the part of the reason why I'm saying to sit right here. And this is, I'll talk about this a little bit now, because decent players will always, because of the need to get information on banana, to know whether or not, you know, the terrorists are here or they've just fully abandoned and go away, will retake banana. And the common way to retake it, in case you don't know, is, you know, usually just one guy walks up along this wall and then the other guy pop flashes him, he swings and peeks. You know, you might counter or chain it with a molly. So top of that antenna with this chimney right here, you can throw this molly and this flash together. It's a pretty powerful combination. You know, so this guy swings out, kills this guy, you know, checks this angle, and then kills you here. Now you're toast, right? Well, that flash goes over the head of this guy here. So if I throw the flash right now, right, I'm not blind. This guy swings, I shoot him in the head. The other thing that happens is this guy checks here, and then a lot of people make the mistake of then going to this angle right here because it's a tough angle, right? If somebody's crouched there, you have to swing it pretty wide to clear it. So a lot of people will clear this and then swing into this, and you'll catch them in that rotation. That's another good point, is if you are the guy pushing through here on CT side, check this angle, then to this angle, because this box isolates the next angle, and then you step into here. So that's just a better way to do it as a CT, and that's part of the reason why you want to play here. Another common anti-flash spot is here, but, you know, when the flash pops, it's still a bit more of a 50-50, and this is the first angle they're going to check, so you got to kind of like time it a little bit. You know, you do risk them flicking. The other issue is that if they throw that molly combination, right, so you're mollied off, you're going to want to stand up against this wall, but then you risk getting burned by the molly, right? Oh, just like that. So then you die, and the only other option is you step back from the wall and then you get flashed from the flash, because anything up against the wall is going to get flashed by that flash. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is what do you do about this, right? So the common T side execute, right? They get the short molly to shut off the rush. They throw the second molly to trap you. You know what I mean? They nade stack into the logs because, you know, they're savage, and then they smoke off the bottom. A lot of people come up against this and they don't know what to do against it. And it's fair. And again, like I said before, the last thing you want to do in this situation is just go and work A, because that's what they're trying to get you to do. They get this forward control so that they can put one at the top of banana and have the other guy rotate, and now you're going to go push A, and you're running into a stack. So that's actually the last thing you want to do. I mean, maybe you want to get mid control, but you don't want to push through and actually fight for A. That's a mistake. So there's two things you can do here with this smoke. One is you can just kind of wait it out. If you wait it out, you can throw this molly right here. This will deal with the close guys. It'll fully clear this angle here. You can mostly get this one here. If you throw it right, you can actually get both. And then while that's up, what I like to do is I like to pop flash like this, clear this deep angle, you know, get the opera off there. I just showed you how that works. Clear these and then get tucked, right? You can kind of like you know, work your way up slowly here. If you're really nervous, you know, throw another flash. You can come up here. You know, you can jump peek over this corner, see if you can like see them tucked in somewhere, right? Wide peek this angle in case he's got a Zeus or a shotgun. You know, check here, and then you can clear. Like, that's pretty common. That's pretty safe. You know, you can even, if you got a teammate there, he can support you. He can throw the flash over for you while you peek. An important thing about this flash, though, that a lot of people mess up is you want to throw it and you want to wait for it to pop before you swing. Because if a lot of people will throw it like this, and then they'll just kind of run it, and then the opera will shoot them before it even pops. So just a little kind of tiny note. You know, maybe you got your teammate back here throwing these support flashes, you know, and you can do a pretty easy retake here. So that's one option. A more aggressive, and I think actually a more powerful option to counter it, is at the beginning of the round, if you know they're getting control of it like that. Again, so this is how you want to cross mid, because you're going to have an opera here. You never want to just run up mid like this or run towards B here like this, because if you look at the angle that you're running on, you're spending a lot of time in the angle of the opera where he can shoot you. Not only that, but you're going to block your own opera. So you always want to hug this wall here and jump across like that. Do a little strafe jump. And then at the beginning of the round, you want to come up here and you want to throw a smoke like this. And then you can either tuck in here, you wait for the nade stack, you wait for the molly, you do whatever, and then I come back and I tuck myself into this door. What this smoke does is it gives these guys on CT side a choice. They can either push through this smoke and risk it, or they can fall back. If they fall back, you win, because you win banana and they've burned their mollies, their smoke, and their nade. That means their B hold is extremely weak. You could call that, and then when you get banana control, if you guys just execute B, they have almost nothing left to deal with it, right? You guys are coming with smokes and mollies. They're sitting there with nothing to throw at you when you come. You know, you can probably even just bait the next smoke, and then they literally have nothing left. So that's if they fall off the smoke, which a lot of people will do. You know what I mean? They'll see the smoke and they'll just run back to site, even though they've used all the utility, which is a really bad thing to do, by the way, as CTs. The other thing is that the other thing they'll do is they'll try to push through, but in order to push through, these mollies are up. They have to time it with the molly. So this is a cue for you on the other side of this wall to know when to push. Or when to make the next play, because you're going to be listening here, waiting, and as soon as the molly's about to die, if that guy pushes through, you throw this flash, and then you swing, and you push through the smoke that's right here. He pushes through the smoke that's right there. He's blind. You're not. You come in, and you have the advantage here on this encounter. You get the kill. His teammate is isolated from him behind the smoke, and then you just tuck in, and you wait. You know, maybe, and then you go back into what I just described before. Now maybe you throw your next flash, and you come around this corner and you whatever, you clear banana. I always clear, if I'm by myself, I clear wide here. I jump up over here, and then I clear this box like this, because a lot of players will crouch right here like this, because a lot of people will clear sandbags like this, and you'll catch a lot of people. Actually, this is, it's a good thing to note, to just kind of sit right here as a CT. You'll get a lot more people than you think. So just to play it out a little bit further, so they throw their mollies, right? They throw their smoke. They got the bottom smoked off here. And now this is smoked at the same time, right? You can kind of see it. They have to, if they want to push through the smoke, they're going to time it with this molly. You're timing your flash with the molly. This molly's about to die. Flash comes over. He pushes through. You push through their smoke. Now he's blind. You win the 50-50. His teammate isn't pushing through the smoke at the same time. And if he is, you're already through, and he's pushing through a smoke, right? His teammate likely will either fall off and try to survive, or he'll just sit at the top and try to spam, which you just wait it out, right? Now he's running away, the tail between his legs, and now you've got banana control. And this is extremely important, because banana control is everything. On this map, on any map, there are these things called which I call control points, which are distinct from the bomb sites, right? So mid on Inferno is a control point, apps is a control point, and banana is a control point. Mid is distinct from A in that it's worth fighting for. It gives you a huge information advantage, and but you can't plant the bomb on it. So, I'll have another video where I just talk about defaults. But that's basically why you want to get banana control, because it not only does it make your A take easier because you probably, especially if you get a pick on banana in your way here and you survive, you're going to split their defense, making the A take even better. If you get a pick on B and you get a pick on A and you just chill, think about that from a CT side perspective, right? You're up against T's or 5 terrorists, maybe 4, maybe there was a trade along the way. And there's 4 of them alive. There's 3 of you alive. Maybe you're low on utility, right? Or maybe you even if you have it all, it creates so much pressure for you as a CT side because now you're passive. You have no information on banana. You have no information on mid. You're down a player. What do? A lot of low-level players on T side take a lot of risks on an individual level that prevent them from getting into this position in the first place, right? One of them on banana here, like I talked about, is that they try to chain that kill into another kill and win the round, by themselves with aggression. Again, I'm not saying that that's always a bad idea. I'm saying that there's moments where it's a good idea, and learning how to recognize when it's the right play and when it's not the right play is going to make you that much more successful in this game. And generally, until you've established that kind of pressure and control, you start controlling their rotation, it's generally a bad idea, especially in punks, because it's a gamble. And it's a gamble particularly because you don't know how the other team's playing. You don't know how they're rotating. And a lot of teams will just risk over rotation because they don't trust their teammates. So you're going to run into a stack more often than not on banana when you do that. So if you can get banana control and you can survive, and then you get mid control and you can survive, that opens up the opportunity to then quietly group up on a site as, let's say you get the 4 guys together and you hit B. That's 4 with utility on B getting control against 1 guy. Even if you have no utility. If you walk in as 4 guys on a banana and he gets the first pick, even if he gets the first 2 picks, you trade him out. Now it's a 2-on-2. You've got B control, and now they have to retake. That's still an advantage for you. So there's no world in which that's not the best play, generally speaking, in a pug. Especially a low-level pug where they're not going to know how to rotate. By low-level, I mean basically any matchmaking. Until you get into the higher levels of global elite, this is all true. And even in the higher levels, it's still true. It just becomes kind of, you have to know how to read them a lot better to be able to figure out what the right play is. And so that's not really what I'm addressing here. But this stuff generally will continue to work up until that level as well. It'll even work in competitive matches. This smoke play that I just went over here with the flash combination. I come back here, Molly's about to die. I throw the flash. I even push through this one because I've got a smoke here protecting me from up top. I take the challenge. And then I just chill, maybe I have my upper mid. He flashes over short wall for me. Sometimes while that smoke's still up there, I'll spam through here because that'll get the guy off of this box angle here. Meaning I don't even have to clear that anymore. You know what I mean? You're just making your life easier and building more and more tools off of this take. I used to run that against pretty high level teams in ESEA, and I was successful at taking banana by myself. There were some teams that knew how to counter it, and the ones that did, we would put 1 more guy on banana, or maybe a more passive player on banana, and I would work mid. And that's the kind of adjustments you have to make with a team. In a pug, they're not going to be available to you, so you got to kind of just, sometimes brute force things and figure out tools like this that'll work against a lot of different situations that they're going to throw at you. Another thing I wanted to say about banana real quick is a lot of people, when they come up banana, they throw this molly right away. This is bad for a number of reasons because, yes, there's a molly that'll cover the full spread. Most people don't know it. Most people throw a molly that's either going to cover the back or the front. The back molly leaves you vulnerable to an opera stepping out and shooting you in the front. The front molly leaves you vulnerable to an opera stepping out and shooting you in the back. Both are susceptible to the Furious smoke, which, by the way, looks kind of like this. You come into right here, you throw a smoke right here, and then the opera's just going to run around the corner. Easy as pie. This smoke puts out your molly, and then he swings behind it, and then he shoots you in the head. That paired with a flash over the wall, you're toast. So molly is kind of old meta. It's not the best way to entry on B. So that smoke is good if you're going to do a slow take. But if you really want to get fast aggression on B, the best thing you can do is throw a flash over. Not like that. You want it to bounce high like this off the wall over the so that it bounces and lands sort of in this area. You want to throw it faster than you'd think, because if they have the first spawn, they'll beat it unless you throw it immediately. So if you're the first spawn up here on a banana rush, you want to chuck a flash like this. If you throw it high enough off this wall, it'll bounce this way and still not get you. and land right here. A lot of people will come up and they'll wait, and then they'll throw it like this. And if you look at this, not only does it land back here, but it gives them enough time to get past it, which means they're not going to be blind anymore. So the first guy up, always want to throw a flash like this, come around the corner. You know, maybe his teammates are throwing support flashes up. Maybe you chain it with a molly and you clear like this. So the flash is better than the Molotov there for rushing. If the idea with the Molotov is to counter their mollies, it's still bad because you throw the molly and the timing of this is such that it's going to land at the same time as the first molly, but it'll land before the second molly. So they'll still have a molly up by the time this ends, giving them a window to peek behind it, right? So if the mollies, you want to counter it with a smoke. If there's no mollies and you just want to rush, then the better play is the flash. This molly is people have figured out how to deal with it so many different ways. It's just not good anymore. So I would encourage you not to do that. Some helpful tools for while you're on banana, and you want to transition from banana into site. These are the things that you need to know. One is a coffin smoke, one is a CT smoke. The other ones are kind of more optional. I would say you should probably know a new box molly as well, and so I'll show you all of those as well as a little bit more. So this spot right here is an extremely powerful spot to execute from. You could actually, if you get smokes dropped here, you can throw most of the smokes you need and a really, really powerful flash. So from this spot right here, if you put your crosshair on the top of this little scaffolding here on the right-hand side, up to the wire, this is your CT smoke. This nubbin to this nubbin right here, this is your coffin smoke. So you can see both of these land. So that's your CT smoke. This is your coffin smoke. And this one's not going to give you any one-ways, right? Like there's sometimes a one-way gap here. There's sometimes a one-way gap when you get a little lower here. There's sometimes a one-way gap when you get up on top of the boxes here. As you can see, you can't see, you know, unless you get up here, in which case you're exposed. And very vulnerable to flashes, by the way. The best flash from this spot, in my opinion, is you put your crosshair on the left-hand tip of or the right-hand tip of this roof, and you just left-click. So this flash, if you look at it from the CT perspective, if he's right here holding cough or new box, he's blind. I don't think it gets him on this side. Nope. But if he's pillar, blind. If he's emo or dark, he's blind. If he's anywhere back fountain, he's blind. If he's coffin, he's blind. If he's boost or CT, you know, this corner right here, he's blind. If I go up to boost, whoop, oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get myself up here. There we go. If he's boost, doesn't get him. If he's forward quarter boost, a little bit. So boost you're vulnerable to, and so basically the spots that you're vulnerable to are first, second, orange, because it's not going to flash this spot either. A little bit here, but not fully, not at all right here. Right? So you've got here, you've got far side, new box, and you've got boost. Those are the spots you're vulnerable to with this flash, right? So, but it isolates so many more of the angles. So if you have, you know, if you think about it like this, you have this smoke up, you have this smoke up, right? And then you throw this flash, and then let's say you pair it with a new box molly, which by the way is right here, this little cubby. You come right here into the corner and you just throw it right here at this first divot. This is flash. They can't be anywhere here without being blind. They can be boost here, so you can check this, and then you swing oranges, and there's nowhere else they can be, right? This guy's mollied off. These guys are all blind. This guy just got killed because you pre-fired him, and now there's a guy oranges. That's all he can be, or he's bullied off the site behind coffins. And so that's you know, 4 pieces of utility and you win the site. Another really common place to smoke CT from, by the way, is you come up to this door, you just kind of throw your smoke on the left-hand side of the top part of the smoke like this. And that'll smoke your CT. This one's a little bit worse because it falls deeper, right? It still gives them this angle. But again, if he plays this angle, he's going to get blind by this flash, which usually will force him out behind the smoke, or he dies to your swinging. So what a common execute here is this guy throws coffin smoke, this guy throws CT smoke, you know, and then this guy here can chain up to this molly, you know what I mean? He flashes like this or something like that, and then you come up, boom, dead, boom, dead. You know, and while he does that, this guy back here is gonna right here throw this smoke, and then he's gonna be flashing. And this flash, by the way, when you're say your teammates are throwing this execute, you want to be pushing into sight and maybe even getting a little bit blind by this flash when you cross, because you want them to be flashed while especially the first person is coming in. There's I see a lot of low-level players get really afraid to get blind by a flashbang from their own teammates. And as a result, they sit here like this, and then they just wait. They wait, and often they'll even sit back here. And then what happens is you throw the flash, and then it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 by the time you get into sight. And so basically what you're doing is, okay, I'm a CT, I'm blind. Okay, oh shoot, I'm blind. Oh, they're not here. Okay, and then I just shoot them when they come out. Right? You're actually giving it to them. Whereas if you're a CT and you see them swinging as you get blind, you freak the fuck out. Especially if all of this shit is getting mollied, if there's smokes coming down, you're forced into this uncomfortable position. And by the way, if you are this first guy and you come through blind, right, you could avoid the flash by swinging like this, right? Is the last one the flash? Yeah. You could avoid the flash by coming through, clearing this first, and then swinging into this angle like this. You know the rest of the spots are going to be blind, so there's no reason to fear it. And another little just tip here is if you do get into this box, you can see him in this first orange. He can hide behind this orange. But the way that I get him out here is if you tap in there, you can shoot through there. And it's actually almost full damage. You'd be surprised how much damage this does. And you don't want to like just burn your clip there because you know, shooting through these like metal things does not do as much damage. And the other thing is he's just going to punish you. You're going to start spraying. He's going to take 50 damage. He's going to step out and ruin you. So what I usually do is I just tap him, get him scared, and then I just prepare myself and I just headshot the swing. So tap, 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 blah, as he steps out. And once you have a guy here, it's really difficult for the CTs to hold, especially if they're down a player. Puts a lot of pressure on them. Other things you can do in Banana, you know, let's say you're solo, you want to lurk it. This one is one of my favorites. You throw this smoke right here, so you come up to this line. You go to the top left of this upper portion of the tree, and you go up to the wire, and you just left click. This smoke, I call it the lurk smoke. It's part of by the way, one part of a wall smoke here. I could show that one in another video when I do maybe some more advanced stuff. But this smoke is going to let you walk up a banana, right? You hold this, you hold banana, you can clear right here, and then you can walk all the way up. Check this, clear boost, and you can get all the way through CT without that guy coffin seeing you. The smoke was kind of fading there, so I'll show you again, or I could just rethrow, I guess. And if you pair this, by the way, with a flash, you don't even have to worry about the coffin guy, and that flash is going to get the guy close CT corner, right? So that gets you up here. You know, you check this again, you swing this corner, you immediately get this kill, right? You want to be up against this wall, obviously. I just messed that up. I'm just trying to show you guys. And this guy here, coffin, is going to actually think he can see you, right? Because he looks like he can see, but he actually can't. And you can actually get this guy here before he can see you. And then you want to make sure, you know, you don't keep swinging all the way through, because then you're going to leave yourself vulnerable to this big hole in the smoke. So it's a really good way to kind of solo work up banana if you ever want to try to work a pick by yourself and give yourself a little more space to work with. Because, you know, a lot of people try to isolate the angles like this, and then they push up, you know what I mean? But then the danger is coming around this corner like this, you got to clear this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, right? This angle. And what a lot of teams are going to get you on is, you come around right here, you're going to get this angle and this angle at the same time. You die. Maybe you're going to get coffin in this angle at the same time. Maybe the guy swings out on you CT while you're trying to clear these angles, right? You guys all know this feeling. And then the other thing is, once you get to kind of right here, you got to pick between close side, new box, and CT, right? So that's why a lot of people, when they clear this, will come like this, right? Before they swing CT. But this smoke just makes it way easier for you to isolate those angles and deal with them one at a time. And it really punishes people playing CT spawn. I think that's probably enough for this video. for banana. I'm probably forgetting some stuff. I could add more things in another video. Again, there's infinitely more things I could go over here. But this is enough to lay a really good foundation and a baseline for people that are working banana. Hopefully there's some things in there that you guys found helpful. Let me know if there's anything I could do to improve for the next video, or if you have any suggestions or any other things you want me to include in the next video. Alrighty, thanks a lot.